Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 27th of March, 2025, and we are back with another show. It's Thursday, and we've got a lot to get through. We're going to switch it up today. We're going to talk about some different things. Yesterday, we had a musical bands type of stream. Today, totally different. We're going to look at lots of different projects today. We're not just going to focus on Bitcoin. We're going to look at lots of other things. Today, we're going to talk about stablecoins. We're going to talk about TON. We're going to talk about CME and Google. They are teaming up. We're going to talk about Hyperliquid or illiquid. We're going to talk about BitBoy Ben. And then we're also going to talk about Hayley Welsh and what she has been up to. So, if you are new here, make sure to follow us, smash the like button, say hello in chat, all of those good things, and let us know you are watching. Good morning to Hidden, good morning to Velvet. I hope you are all doing incredibly well. We are streaming on a few other platforms today, so good morning to you all. Drop a comment in chat, and I will get to them at some point during the show. If not, sit tight. Let's go through everything. I have tried to change the layout a little bit to get more content onto the screen, as you can see. There's a little bit more for you to look at today. Now, again, volume is in the pits. 75 billion in volume really isn't going to get us anywhere. Okay, that needs to be over 100 billion. When we were peak FOMO, I don't think we dropped below 100 billion, for a period of about 3 or 4 weeks. Again, it's very, very low. Bitcoin dominance hasn't changed. ETH dominance hasn't changed. Market cap hasn't really changed either. Moving down, Bitcoin coming in 87.5. Again, we're moving up a little bit. We're moving down a little bit. There really isn't an awful lot to say about that. Ethereum, hanging on to that $2,000 mark. XRP has fallen down a little bit, back to 237. BNB, Solana, everything is the same as it was yesterday. Not a lot to talk about, really. Gainers, Sui is up almost 10%. Maker, TON is up on the news that we're going to talk about later on. Zcash, we haven't mentioned them on this channel for over a year. They're up. DAO, Dexy, Celestia, there's a few gainers. Again, it's one of those weeks, one of those days. Hyperliquid is down 10%. Again, this is unbelievable news. And when we talk about this, I'm going to try and stay calm. Try and stay relaxed. I'm going to keep my cap on. Move is down. Bonk, Story, Shib. The coin I don't mention is down. Jito, Crow is down, hanging on to 10 cents. That's going to go. We're going to go back to 9 cents, 8.5 cents where we were because it pumped on the news. Dupe is down. There's a lot of tokens which are down. And some of those tokens I'm going to make a video about and talk about specifically because it's too much to talk about on this show. But basically, Grayscale has updated its token list, its top 20 tokens to hold. And Dupe is no longer on that list. And we're going to talk about why later on. Don't worry about that. Good morning, Chinu. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, KB. Good morning, Kishan. I hope you are all well. Good morning indeed to the traders out there. I hope the choppy waters bring you your catch today. Now then, something we talk about a lot on here is just because somebody's got a suit on, it doesn't make them super intelligent. I ran my own business from about 2001, I think. I ran my own business, stopped wearing a suit, stopped caring about what people in suits said, got on with the task in hand. Michael Saylor has pretty much said the same thing. They're not smarter than you. They don't work harder than you. They're just richer than you. And it's because they have insane leverage. Again, these people, Elon Musk's of this world, who have all of these billions and billions of dollars, remember it's tied up in stock. And they can't sell it because they go to sell it and the stock price will absolutely crash. So on paper, they are wealthy. In reality, They are not quite as wealthy, and most importantly, they can leverage their value to go and buy more and more assets, buildings, more stock, more investments, whatever it might be. You obviously don't have that luxury. All you can really do is remortgage your house, and that really isn't a wise move. So they just have more money, which is, at the end of the day, what capitalism is. Now then, the SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce is to speak at the world's largest Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. America is embracing Bitcoin. There she is. We covered her yesterday. She's the darling of the channel, Hester Peirce, the mother of crypto. And again, she is all things sensible. That's what we like about her. She's sensible. I know we have this left and right thing in America. I know we have it in Europe as well. But we just want sensible answers to questions. We don't want extremism. We just want middle ground answers to the problems that we've got. And she is coming across as sensible. Maybe not everybody in the American administration is sensible. Pete Hegseth clearly doesn't come across as sensible, but she's in charge. She's now riding that bull, if you pardon the pun, and she is hopefully going to take us on to bigger and better things. Now, Ondo Finance, again, massively bullish on real world assets. We do have a partnership with Maple Finance. You can see the logo on the screen there, but that doesn't mean I can't talk about everybody else. Ondo Finance and broader institutional participation continue to gain momentum. This could mark one of the most significant shifts in financial markets to date. We talked about BIDL, B-U-I-D-L, BIDL, we'll call it Build for the sake of my sanity. Ondo is a crucial part of that. They are a crucial part of working with BlackRock to get TradFi and tokenization of assets, and they are coming. And this report down here by Mazzari is something, again, I can't go over it too much, but if you get a chance to go and read it, go and read it. Again, said this yesterday, traditional finance is slow. They telegraph what they're doing. You can trade in crypto 24/7, 365. You have a head start on absolutely everybody else. You can get in and out of projects at the drop of a hat. People in TradFi, 95% of the world have no idea what RWA stands for. No idea. You're ahead of everybody. And it's hard because you're in this bubble, this crypto bubble, or you just watch me for an hour a day, whatever it might be. You're in this bubble, but you don't understand that that bubble is a tiny fraction of the population and a tiny fraction of the total valuation of assets around the world. And when it takes off, if you are in some of these projects we talk about every single week, you are going to be richer than you are today. It's a simple fact. You are in an expanding market. You just have to pick the horses that aren't going to fall over. That's it. GameStop, and this is one of the horses that's going to fall over, by the way. GameStop is to raise $1.3 billion to purchase Bitcoin. Do not go anywhere near this company. They were a failing 1990s, 2000 company that used to sell computer games out of their stores. It was failing. Then Wall Street Bets on Reddit started a campaign. They longed and longed and longed. We talked about this the other day. They've got $5 billion in assets. They're going to raise $1.3 billion. They're going to become a strategy B, as it's now known, a MicroStrategy. That's all they are. That's what they're going to become. So be very careful when you see stuff like this. It's not necessarily a good thing for you to get involved with, and it's not necessarily a good thing for crypto, because what they're doing is they're borrowing money, very similar to what Michael Saylor just said. They're borrowing money to then go and buy Bitcoin on the proviso that Bitcoin goes up. They've got $5 billion. Why don't they just put $2 billion of their own money in? Because they don't want to spend their own money. They want to spend your money or investors' money. I don't like this, and we're going to see more and more of it. We're going to see companies coming out that you may not have heard of for the last 10 years. Kodak is going to raise $1 billion to buy Bitcoin. So are they just a custody? If they're just a custody, go and buy the Bitcoin at spot yourself. Now then, a massive happy birthday to Mew. They are 1 year old. Sponsor of the channel, happy birthday, Mew. Couldn't not put this up. Again, it is a meme coin, but it is more than a meme coin. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's tarring it as the same brush you would tar Trump. They're not one in the same. Does it have inherent value? Yes, it does, because it's not really a meme coin. It's more of a community coin now. It has animations going on. It's going to have its own TV series. It's massively popular. It goes to all the conferences. You can go and meet them. They are real people, okay? It is not the same as Melania. It's not the same as Trump. And would I say this if we weren't sponsored by them? Absolutely. I made a video this year talking about how 2025 meme coins are dead. We're going to bring up one of those in a minute, which is just kind of broken last night. We'll talk about that in a bit. Now this gives me goosebumps. And the reason this gives me goosebumps is because this is what I've been talking about for 2 years. 2 years, on and off, I have been talking about this. Star Atlas, we've made videos about them for the last 2.5 years. And we have been talking about Star Atlas integrating AI into their game. And Singularity, who we all love and know on this channel, we've been in Singularity for, what, 18 months, 2 years, probably at the same time. They're going to add AI to the Star Atlas game, okay? I cannot explain to you how this is going to affect everything, not just crypto, but games in general. Star Atlas, the name Star Atlas is going to be mentioned everywhere. Now, do not buy the token. The token and the game are two separate things, in my opinion. Will the price of the token pump? Yes, but it's an emission-based token, so it pumps out tokens. There really isn't enough buy pressure for me to warrant buying the token. However, over a very long period of time, playing a game like Elite or playing a game like Blade Runner, where you can you can fly to a planet, land on a planet, walk into the town, and every single NPC there will talk to you, have different bits of information, have different storylines. You can interact with them. You can, shoot them. You can hug them. You can talk to them, whatever it might be. It's going to be insane. But the token price is going to only pump on the news. For me, it's not worth getting the token. But I brought it to your attention because this is an unbelievable partnership. And there were two things I wanted from Star Atlas. Number one was using AI to generate the characters within the universe. The second thing I wanted them to do was to allow NFT projects to bring their characters into the game. So if you've got a Bored Ape or a mutant ape, obviously it's got to be sensible characters. You can't have dragons walking around or 8-foot tall Japanese doll girls. Got to be sensible characters. But if you could have a Bored Ape walking around in this metaverse, it's going to knock the socks off everything else. So this is massively, massively bullish news for me. And again, the token price, don't rush out and go and buy Atlas because this is going to be the next big thing. I don't think the token is going to hold up based on that because it's going to take a lot more people to play it to get there. That might take 3 or 4 years. If we're talking about a bull run finishing at the end of this year, buy it next year, buy it the year after. But it's an emissions token. And this is the thing I keep saying about gaming tokens and games are two separate things. You can have the best game in the world, but if that token is based on emissions, where's the buy pressure? There's no buyback and burn as far as I'm aware with Star Atlas. You can lock it up and you can earn staking rewards. There's no buyback and earn. The only game I think holds value is Fortnite, and I think they're called V-Bucks. But then I think Roblox has got one as well that also holds up. There's so few examples of a gaming token working that I just don't think it's worth risking your hard-earned money on buying a gaming token. But that's my opinion. Remember, that's my opinion. Good morning, Mags. I hope you are well. Right then, now, this is massively important because you are getting or going to get fleeced. I can't even pronounce the name. Ghibli-inspired meme coins on Solana are surging in popularity as ChatGPT users have flooded social media with Studio Ghibli-inspired images over the last 24 hours. The largest themed token by market cap is Ghibli, which hit $20 million since its launch or yesterday. It's up 40,000%. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Melania, Libra or Ghibli. It's all going to end the same way. This token will probably keep going and keep going. Maybe it hits $300 or $400 million market cap. Maybe it goes to $1 billion market cap. And then what's going to happen is it is going to collapse. It's going to come straight back down again. Now, if you get into them and you buy them and you get them at a 10, 20, $30 million market cap and it runs up to 200 or 300 million, for the love of everything that is holy, take profits. I can't sit here and tell you not to buy trash. It's not my decision. You're grown-ups, you're adults. I can't stop you going to the casino or betting on horses, but that's the equivalent of betting on these. If you get in today and put $100 into this token and it goes to $200 million market cap, sell the $1,000. Take your money, buy Bitcoin. If you buy into 3 of these today and you make $10,000, sell them, buy Bitcoin. Your responsibility here is to make money, yes, but also to stack your sats. I'm happy to report this is probably a theme that's going to happen over the next 3 or 4 days, and I'm happy if you go out and buy some of these tokens and you make some cash. But you're going to hold it all the way down because everybody always does. So sell at a profit. If it goes up 500%, sell half. There's the deal on the table. Can't say fairer than that. Now then, let's move on to some actual news today. They were just some snippets. Good morning, Tariq. I hope you are well, everybody. Let's see where we are in the news. Right then, again, I just want to try and bring some sense to this crazy world, okay? Donald Trump is using tariffs as a carrot and a stick. And if you don't know what the carrot and stick is, it's basically a carrot is an incentive and a stick is a deterrent. Crypto market plummets on Trump's imminent announcement of new auto tariffs. Okay, there we go. Now, let me just point one thing out. This is 6:10 last night. This is 9 p.m, 3 hours later. Vietnam to cut tariffs on US products, including cars and gas, to avoid President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. Okay. America is the single biggest customer of everybody in the world. They are a consumption nation. They consume everything. Food, electronics, services, they consume everything. They have inflated their economy. It's still the biggest economy in the world. And then you have the Vietnams, the Canadas, the Mexicos, even the EU. How do you compete with America? You don't want to compete with America. You want to partner with America. And under different regimes, you have different trading strategies. Laissez-faire, let it all just go. Or protectionist, which is what Trump is. He's trying to protect the American economy. And this is what you need to understand. He doesn't want tariffs. He wants this. He is threatening these countries in public to get a response. And yes, they're going to come out and say, we're Canadians, we're proud people. And yes, you are proud people. Of course you are. But at the end of the day, if you've got a tariff on an American product and they don't have a tariff on your product, and he wants to have reciprocal tariffs, you have 2 options. You allow that to happen and your economy suffers, or you lower your tariff, making American goods cheaper in your country and their exports go up. It's simple. And listen, the orange man is not the best thing that's ever happened to America. Let's get that clear. But it's common sense. If every time you come to my club, I let you in for free, and you come in, you have a party, and you have a great time, fantastic. Every time I go to your club, you're going to charge me 20 quid to go in, and my customers 20 quid to go in. And my customers aren't going to go in, so my customers lose out. Which is fairer? Allowing everybody in? Of course it is. So he's just forcing these through. And of course he's doing it in public because he's calling them out. And I'm not going to harp on about it, but at the end of the day, this is bullish for America. And that's all he cares about. And that's all that there is to say about it. It doesn't matter what the EU says. It doesn't matter what Canada says. He's doing it for the benefit of America. And as wherever you're from, you should respect that, because you should expect your president, your prime minister to do the same thing for your country. And if they're not, he's not the person that should be in charge of your country, or she should not be the person in charge of your country. Good morning, Bullish Bull. Welcome to the stream. The USDC supply reaches $60 billion, doubling in a year and outpacing Tether growth. The supply of USDC stablecoin issued by Circle has reached a record high, surpassing 60 billion in market cap. And boy, has that gone up. This is USDCE, which is on Sonic. The OGs out there, I made a video on Sunday. Go and watch it. We're already up about 22%. I'm not saying it's going to keep going like that, but they're bringing the liquidity. This is the Sonic liquidity. That's basically what you need on your chain. You need liquidity. It's 92 million. It's not massive. It's not like Ethereum. It's not like Solana. But look at where it came from. If we go back to maybe where? We were looking at $50 million in January. 2 months later, it's 8x'd. The money's going to Sonic. That's a good thing. So the supply of USDC has gone up, passing 60 billion. The milestone represents doubling from 30 billion in March last year and exceeds the 55 billion just after the end of the bull run. Has 25% share of the stablecoin market. Tether, of course, is number one with 144 billion, but we're looking at almost $250 billion. That's not bad. That's going to continue to go up. Stable coins allow for more than buying and selling a crypto. And I think we're going to see a massive, massive surge in stable coins once America has signed off on the stablecoin legislation. Remember what we said yesterday, everyone's getting a stable coin. You're going to be looking at probably a $2 to $3 to $4 to $5 trillion asset class within the next 5 years, 4 years, probably 3 years. So it's going to grow massively. And the revenue generated by Tether and Circle is also going to grow massively. So within the next, say, 3 or 4 years, Tether is going to reach $1 trillion. It's at 144. It's certainly going to 7 or 8x in that time. And again, a lot of that money will stay in stables. It's not necessarily going to go into Bitcoin. It's going to go into stables. Maybe it'll be used for inter-exchange transactions. Maybe it's going to be used for staking on some of the TradFi earn platforms. There's loads of other benefits to stablecoins outside of crypto. So the issuer is reported considering an IPO. Again, there's lots of IPOs talk. Can't mention some of them because they're exchanges. They're certainly looking at IPOing. But again, this is massively bullish. And it's also bullish for crypto, not just necessarily for stablecoins, but for crypto. The money keeps coming in. The money keeps going up. If we're looking at $250 billion in stablecoins, and we're saying that that's up 50%, 40% from where it was this time last year, then the money is coming in. And when you sell your Bitcoin, when you sell your Ethereum, whatever you're selling, you want to buy stablecoins with it because that will hold the value against the dollar, whether you agree with it or not. And I think it's massively bullish. We need stablecoins, and chains need liquidity. That's why Sonic is going after it. That's why all the talk on Cardano is about stablecoins. The only downside to Sonic is the native algorithmic stablecoin. And whenever somebody says we've cracked algorithmic stable coins, that fills me with dread, because I just would rather have a stable coin backed by treasuries than a stable coin backed by an algorithm. That's just me. Pavel Durov, one of the reasons that Ton is up today, a Ton has got $400 million mega backing. Don't know why that word is there. It's like a mega pint, if you remember the Johnny Depp case. Telegram founder breaks silence on Ton's success. There he is. He was arrested recently in France, remember? Don't forget that. He rarely speaks in public. But he did announce Silicon Valley's biggest players, Sequoia, Benchmark, Ribbit, Draper, and VY Capital have collectively poured $400 million into Ton, offering not just capital, but public endorsement. Again, there's a lot of talk about why certain exchanges, and we're not going to mention names on here, why certain exchanges have allowed for investment. Let's go over here for a little bit. In fact, what we'll do is, we will just reset the browser while we have this very quick chat, because there we go. Right. Happy days. So I should be back now. There I am. Now, why does an exchange allow a third party to buy 10% of its stock? Why does a company that makes an awful lot of money allow for outside investment like this? Could Ton go off and do it on its own back? Yes. Can these exchanges go off and do them on their own back? Yes. But the one thing that's missing is the validity it gives to your exchange or your project. If you look at Dragon's Den, this is the best example. You look at Dragon's Den and you'll have somebody on there. He'll make a product that's making $10 million a year, and he makes good profits. He goes on Dragon's Den and he says to those people, right, I'm going to give you 25% of the business for $5 million. And then they haggle a little bit about the price and the percentage and stuff like that. But then they always ask the same question, why have you come here? And they know what the answer is going to be, but they ask it anyway. Why have you come here when you make so much money? And the answer is very simple. Let's say that you allow Donald Trump's company to buy 10% of you. You suddenly have the President of America looking at you and acting in your best interests to protect their own interest. So they go and they say, right, okay, well, what do we need to do to allow our investments to flourish? We need to bring in more business to them. We need to bring in more traffic to them. We need to talk them up a bit. Okay, that's all the things that we want to be able to do. Okay, so it's validity. It adds validity. And it doesn't make any sense, yes, because certain exchanges can just go off and keep buying companies and buying companies and buying companies. But at some point, you are going to want a bigger player or a player in a different industry to come in and take a vested interest in your business. And that is what Ton are doing with these people. These people will have more connections than Ton could ever hope for. So it might seem crazy from the outside, but it allows them to expand. And again, do you want 100% of a tiny pie, or do you want 60% of a massive pie? Because that's what it comes down to. Ton could stay at a few $billion market cap for the rest of its life. Maybe it will die out as technology changes. Or it can sell off some of its business and expand to maybe a $20, $30, $40 billion project. You're going to then have, say, 60% of 40 billion, which is a lot more than 100% of 3 billion. And that's just how these things work. So very bullish for Ton. It does add validation. That's the other thing. It adds validation that those names are now behind Ton, and people will look at them. Right then, let's move on to the next article. Halfway through the show already. Halfway through the show. Incredible. It goes so quickly at this end anyway. I'm sure it doesn't go that quickly at your end. Right, the CME and Google Cloud partner to explore tokenization. It's the buzz of the year. Everyone was saying, oh, gaming, 2025 is going to be gaming, 2025 is going to be meme coins. If you listen to Ansem or Morad, 2025 is going to be the year of the biggest meme coins you've ever seen. And when it comes down to it, it's going to be the biggest year of companies that actually make money. Who would have thought it? Maybe common sense is coming to crypto in small doses. CME Group and Google Cloud have expanded their partnership to explore new financial solutions. They are bringing GC something or other from Google Cloud into their systems to make wholesale payments run better and turn asset information into digital tokens. The project helps protect digital payments while making them work better. They're going to be testing the new services in 2026. Again, TradFi, slow. Very simple. Google Cloud works to give financial institutions advanced tech platforms. We know about that. GCU gives financial institutions a secure platform with network programming options. Starting in the next few months, CME Group will conduct market testing sessions supported by Google Cloud before making new services available in 2026. The companies will conduct essential testing. Yeah, again, it's TradFi making its own way into Web3, into crypto. And the end game of all of this is to have 24/7, 365 trading. That's the end game. So all of your brokers and your people going into Wall Street and waving pieces of paper around that you see on TV, that's all going to go by the by. And we're going to have 24/7 trading. And if you think about the way the world works, everything now is online. You've got Netflix, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. You've got online banking almost 24/7. Everything you can do at any time of the day or night, any day of the week, except trade. You can't trade. Why not? Why can't you go and buy Tesla stock on a Sunday afternoon? You work Monday to Friday. You work longer hours than the bankers. So by the time you finish your work and you get home, you've had your tea, you sit down, it's 8 o'clock. You've missed the day. Then something breaks at 9 o'clock at night. You think, oh, I need to go and buy some of that stock. I will phone my broker in the morning and ask him to buy it. You phone the broker and you buy it. He buys it for you at 1 o'clock the following afternoon. You've missed the entire pump. You go to CME, you go to BlackRock, you go to any of these exchanges, stock exchanges, not crypto exchanges, stock exchanges. In 2 or 3 years' time, you'll be able to buy Tesla there and then. Yes, you can do that with Robinhood and eToro right now. I know that. But this is going to turn the stock market itself into a 24/7 business. That's what they're aiming to do. And everybody wants in on this. This isn't just CME. It's also the New York Stock Exchange. It's also the London Stock Exchange, the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. They're all looking at this because they're going to get fried by crypto businesses. Crypto businesses are going to move into their space with their hundreds of millions of clients and absolutely dominate. And they need to make sure they stay ahead of the game. They do. American banks are the same. American banks are going to have to change, or the rules are going to have to change to allow them to stay ahead, or they are also finished, because TradFi banking doesn't have a patch on not just Web3, but the new apps that come out every day. They're just so far ahead. Right then, this is a proper shock to the system. We've actually got, I'm going to call them negative. We've got 3 negative articles to go through today. And that's because we're going to talk about Hyperliquid, we're going to talk about Haley Welsh, and then we're going to talk about BitBoy Ben. And none of those are necessarily great headlines to talk about, but you have to take the rough with the smooth. Now, Hyperliquid delists surging Solana meme coin to avoid liquidation crisis. This was all about Jelly Jelly, which was a Solana-based meme coin. And it was delisted from Hyperliquid after a 20x leverage bet tested the decentralized exchange's integrity. And there is a hand sticking out of the water. I don't know what that symbolizes. A person drowning. Okay, well, I don't know why they're drowning. It delisted Jelly on Wednesday, describing the move as critical to ensuring its network's integrity. It used its own high-speed blockchain built upon Ethereum Layer 2 Arbitrum, and the project said its network's validators had convened to take decisive action. The decision came after a Hyperliquid user opened a $6 million 20x leverage short on Jelly that became toxic as the meme coin's price soared. On X, spectators speculated the user may have intentionally tried to liquidate themselves, forcing the decentralized exchange to take over the bad bet as it spiraled out of control. The price surged to 4 cents. I think it had to go to about 10 or 11 cents for this to all really kick off. That was a 73% jump. Hyperliquid said the decision to delist Jelly was a collective choice. Sparks criticism from the industry that it's not decentralized. Hype can't handle the jelly. Let's stop pretending Hyperliquid is decentralized and then stop pretending traders actually care. Bet you Hype is back where it started in short order. Case DJs, blah, 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 blah. Don't know what language that was. Let's stop pretending it's decentralized. This is what we're about to get to. Now, we don't need to read all of this. It's going to go into too much depth. What I'll say about this is we've noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed, that Hype, the token, has been going up in value an awful lot over the last couple of months. And one of the actual projects that I've got NFTs in, they bought Hype token a long time ago when it was worth a lot less than it is today. Now, the issue here is two things: decentralization, number one, and number two, risk. Hyperliquid have failed on both points. When it's not going your way, you can't just turn it off and on again. Now, Solana did this. Solana did this about 2 years ago with somebody that had an awful lot of Solana staked somewhere, and the validator, or the validators and Solana, agreed to release the contract and get the funds out. Again, that's not decentralization. Hyperliquid getting the validators to agree to terminate is not really, in my opinion, decentralization, because it probably 3 or 4 validators maybe got control of the network. Look at Kronos Chain. The Kronos Chain vote to mint 70 billion tokens. Nearly every validator voted against the decision, but guess what? 3 or 4 massive validators that control an awful lot of the supply all voted in favor, and it went through. So decentralization works until it doesn't, and it works until there's a problem. And when these things happen, you see the true colors of a chain. Solana can roll back and change things. Hype rolled back, well, didn't roll back, but cancelled it. Kronos Chain forced through a vote even though 95% of people didn't want it. Well, that's not decentralization. That is decentralization in nothing but name. So I think what's happened there with Hyperliquid is it's going to keep running. Of course it's going to keep running. It's not going to go anywhere. But any semblance of belief that that chain is decentralized has just gone out the window. And you see this in times of stress, when the system is stressed. And then that brings me to the next point, which is risk. If you allow a trader to put in a trade that puts your entire platform at risk, your risk thresholds are clearly wrong. And that is a problem. So if a 20x short on a token with $6 million, that's 120 million. If you can't handle that, then you should have a max amount, 1 million, 500,000, wherever it might be. You should limit that. Or you should allow them to do a $6 million trade, but only allow 5x leverage. Whichever way the algorithm should work, it didn't. So the problems are it's not decentralized, and the risk metrics are skew and gone. Okay, it's not like going into a bookies and putting $100,000 on a horse to win a race, where the bookie can turn around and say, we're not going to honour that bet. That's what happens in a bookies. This is a decentralized exchange. Those things can cause real problems to that exchange, real problems to the trader, and real problems to the market. They shouldn't have allowed it to happen. They did. And then rather than owning up, because it probably would have wiped them out, they just cancelled it. And that is absolutely shameful. And there's no other way around that. But again, these are small actors. These are not massive actors. They're growing, yes. But is it a teething problem? Yes. Will people remember this in a year's time or 2 years' time or 3 years' time? No. Will people care in 3 or 4 years' time? No, they won't. But those that were here at the time will. And that's why it's important to realize that you need to look at something and say, is it truly decentralized? Is Ethereum truly decentralized? Is Bitcoin truly decentralized? Who has the vote and why does that care? It cares because if you have $10,000 of your life savings in a token and the validators turn around and agree to mint 5 times the number of tokens, then over a very short period of time, your $10,000 might become $2,000 or $3,000. That's why you should care. You should care about who controls the tokens that you are invested in. Do you know about the control mechanisms of Solana or Ethereum? Do you know how TON works? Do you know how TON comes about, how they work? That's what's important to understand. That's why you can't hold 50 tokens, because you can't possibly know everything about every token. I did a review yesterday of a token, which I'm not going to say the name of, but the video is up. I did a review, it was a live stream, and by the end, I basically said, this is trash. Don't buy that token, it's absolute garbage. It's gone down 95%. They don't talk about the token, they haven't tweeted in 2.5 months, it's garbage. I'm not going to tell you something just because it was a sponsored stream or just because they asked us to do it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And my honest opinion is I wouldn't go near Hyperliquid for at least 6 months in terms of buying the token. If that token price continues to come down and down and down and down and down, and let's say it goes to $3 or $4, maybe that's a good price to accumulate it at. But for me right now, it's toxic. Now then, BitBoy Ben is arrested over emails sent to a judge. Now this isn't really technically crypto news, neither is the Haley Welsh article, but you know, sometimes we need to do streams which are not about the top 5 or 6 projects. Sometimes we have to take a leap of faith and talk about stuff that's just in the general crypto sphere. And I always tell you, don't trust anybody. Don't trust me, don't trust Ben, don't trust Altcoin Daily, don't trust Ran from Crypto Banter, don't trust anybody. Listen to what they've got to say and make your own mind up. That's the key. I'm not saying you don't listen to people. That's the problem with the left at the minute. You see all these TikTok posts. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, then you're finished. It's like, it's a thinly veiled threat. These people shill you what they are paid to shill you. And a lot of these people are very bad people. And not the case with Ben. Ben has mental issues. And that's all come about from various things. He was arrested in Georgia for harassing a judge via email. We're not going to talk about that bit. He's being held without bond. The reason is because he fled the state. There he is, BitBoy Ben. He was a popular crypto influencer. He was arrested in Florida. He is in Georgia. He's from Georgia. A couple of things happened to him. Some things which were his fault, some things which were not his fault. They took advantage of him. They took his show off him. They took his brand and his business off him. They didn't quite leave him penniless and broke, but they took most of his money off him. He then started, his mental health started to deteriorate, and he has gone by the wayside, and he's probably going to do some time. But yes, there are some rug pulls that you need to be aware of, and that is the problem now. The issue is he's got mental issues. And that's why he's been arrested, not his crypto side. On his crypto side, he has shilled tokens for the last 5 or 6 years and made a lot of money out of it. And there are others out there that have done the same thing. Obviously, I'm not going to mention specific names, but there are people who go out there and will tweet about a token randomly out of the blue. And because they've got 500,000 or 600,000 followers, you'll go and have a look at that token and maybe you'll go and buy $50 or $100. It's not really going to harm you if you've got a lot of money. But if 5,000 people, 10,000 people do that, it moves the price. You know, they tweet, this is definitely a 1000x token. Get on this now. It's less than a cent. And you'll get maybe $5 or $10 million worth of trading on that token. Well, that money that you're trading into those tokens collectively goes into their pockets and they make a lot of money out of it. And it's not just the likes of Ben who've been around for a long time. He's obviously got mental issues, and for that he needs help, clearly. But it's people like this. So Hayley Welsh, the Hoctor girl, is famous for what, 10 seconds of her life? She promoted a token as well. She promoted a token. The token sold. It went up. We'll have a look at it in a minute. If we can find the link to it. Has it actually got the chart on this article? I don't think I saw it. No. So she promoted this token. The token went up. The token came down. There was an awful lot of money lost by investors, and she didn't tweet for a few weeks. And then she waited and waited and waited until it all died down, and then went onto camera and said, I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't my fault. Somebody else did it for me. And very sorry to say, that isn't really a defence in a court of law. You are still, I would imagine, still going to be prosecuted with securities laws, breaches, and unregistered securities. I don't know, whatever she's going to get hit with. But the reason is there's going to be a documentary about her, and it's going to include the token, her rise to fame, and the token itself. She was not named in the lawsuits over the token's collapse, however, recently resurfaced, and she went on a skit about it. But again, at the end of the day, whether it's BitBoy Ben, who's in crypto, whether it's a girl who's famous for pretty much nothing, they shouldn't be the type of people that you listen to for sound financial advice. There are a lot of people out there that I watch, and I watch them from the point of view of why are they saying these things? Why are they talking about it? He is also a consistent liar who has a huge ego. Of course, yes. The question is, you're trying to either keep up with the market or outsmart the market. One of those two things. And if you follow influencers in general, you are going to end up getting absolutely trashed by them. And the reason is that we talk about this is pump and dumps. And by the way, I have tried to leave as much time to the end of the stream because I've not looked at any charts yet. And that's why we're now going over to TradingView. So very quickly, I just want to show you what a pump and dump looks like, because a lot of you watching may not know, may not care, fine. But I need to make sure you understand. Is it called Hawk? Is that what it's called? There we go. Right. It's probably been delisted from most places, I'd imagine. We can get rid of that now. Close that down. Let's have a look. Is this the token? That Oracle and his chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. Let's see if this is the one. There we go. Okay, so this token, now we can go to the daily because we found it. I will change this chart in a minute, by the way, because I can't see grey on grey. There you go. Right. So this is the token that is promoted by Hayley Welsh. I think she's called. And it does that. Okay? You are buying all of this up. That's what you're doing. Right, let me go and bring up another one to show you, because there's a lot of these. And I am sick of people losing money because of it. Okay? Sick of people losing money. We'll get onto the Bitcoin chart in a minute, because we are at the point where we've been saying we were going to get to. Okay. This is the next one. So, again, what do we have? We have Melania. And that is what Melania did. Melania, it's that bad, I don't even think we're actually going to catch any kind of chart on the way up. It's just so bad. So, this is where you buy. And this is what you end up with. You buy at the top and you hang on to it because it keeps going down. And all of the Melania gang, the cabal as they're called, they own most of the token supply, and they sell all of this. And you buy here. And it doesn't matter if it's Hoctor, doesn't matter if it's Melania. Those new coins I've just told you about today, which have started coming out, they are going to do this. They will all go to zero, or as close to zero as possible over time. And you are going to get destroyed. And it's not just Melania. You can type in any one of these tokens and you are going to get, let's think, that one maybe. You're going to see exactly the same thing. Don't even think that's got a chart on it. Anyway, you can't even see it. It's that bad. Okay? All of these tokens, just trash. I'll get it up eventually. There you go. So, trash tokens. You don't buy these tokens. You buy the tokens which have a value to them. Actually, I'm going to bring up Bitcoin. That's the last thing I'll do before I stop for the day. Right then, the Bitcoin chart, which we brought up on Monday. It is now Thursday, and we are on the wrong version of it. Try again. There we go. Okay. Do you remember what I said on Monday? 88.5 was going to be the line in the sand. 88.4 is the line in the sand. That's the bottom of the bull market support band. And if you look, we are rattling against the underside of it. There. And we are trying our hardest to get above it. And if we don't get above it, we are likely to see one of these moves. Okay, so maybe we do that, and that would bring us down to about 85.9, for example. So we're kind of stuck where we are, and we're going to need something to break us out of it. But if we do break out of it, we need to get above 94. That's where we need to get to. And until we break above this 88.4, 88.5, until we break above that, we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to keep chopping, and maybe we come down. And what we don't want to see is we don't want to see that. We don't want to see any kind of breakdown like that. Who knows? But we are at the point that we said we would be at, and this is now a decision. Bitcoin needs to make a decision because the channel is moving up. So maybe we go to 90 and then come back down. Maybe we bounce off the bottom of the bull market support band again. Maybe we bounce off the channel again. But either way, the two options are 80, 85, 88.5. That's it. That's all there is. It's the same. We're in this range. It's like Groundhog Day. That's where we are. We have recovered, though. The good news is we have recovered from these lows. If you look at where we are, again, because of recency bias, people forget where we are. If you look at where we came down to, we wicked all the way down to 76.7. My bottom, or one of my bottoms, was a 30% correction, which I think was 72 or 74. We got close enough. What's $2,000 between friends? We got close enough. And now we have tried to get back. So we've done a good job. We've done a good job. It's a nice pattern. But now we've hit major resistance. And that has got to break. Otherwise, we are just going to come down again. And any bit of bad news is going to push us down. Look at what's happening at the minute. We've got Cynthia Lummis. We've got Donald Trump, Eric Trump. We've got Michael Saylor. We've got GameStop. We have all of these people talking about Bitcoin. I'm going to go and buy Bitcoin. We're going to go and buy Bitcoin. We're going to go and buy Bitcoin. We're going to go and buy Bitcoin, and we've not done anything. We're not moving. The macro, which is quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, interest rates, all of that stuff, we're not going to do anything. So until that changes, maybe we do this, maybe we waddle around a bit. April's the big month now because we do expect a rate cut in April, and that could be the spur. But, I mean, we've got, let's see, we've probably got to about there. And it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if we just did this for the next, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, because we need a spark, we need inspiration, but also we need to realize that when it says that the Bitcoin and crypto tank on tariff news, well, I don't see a tank anywhere there. That's not a tank. If anything, since the 10th of March, which was 2.5 weeks ago, we've done nothing but this very nice recovery. And now we are at a little bit of resistance. So we're in a good position. I'd rather be here than here. But people are as bearish here, if not worse, than they were here. Recency bias. Absolute recency bias. Anyway, let's get rid of that. So, is the market going to keep going down? We've been going up for 17 days. So if you look at that, we need to break 88.5. We're at like an inflection point again. If we get rejected off 88.5, how many times are we going to get rejected? I don't know. I've not looked at the order book, but we're in a channel, and the channel's going up, and it's been going up for 2.5 weeks. It's bullish. This tariff talk from Trump is just bluster. It's just there to push people to agree to his terms. That's all it is. He does it in public. He calls people out. But again, it's like the Musk thing. Elon Musk talked about crypto. And every time he did, it had less and less effect on crypto. Trump is talking about tariffs. People are becoming desensitized to tariff talk. So I'm not worried about the tariffs. They're not an issue for me because he's just using it as a negotiating trip. I don't think Trump will do anything about what he said about crypto. Trump is not and was never going to do it. Cynthia Lummis is the one that you need to pay attention to. Told you about her before on the channel. America is looking for net neutral ways of buying Bitcoin. He said they want to buy 1 million Bitcoin. That's what he said. Or she said. He said we want to buy loads. We want to buy all of it. Now, what's he done since he came in? Bitcoin Strategic Reserve signed. Crypto Summit done. Stablecoin legislation in the next 2 weeks. He's been in power for what? A month and a half? And we've got a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. We have the net neutral purchase of Bitcoin. We have the summit where they got all of the top dogs to sit around a table, and then Trump told them the rules of play, rules of engagement. Don't mess around, play by the rules, everyone's a winner. Stablecoin legislation is going to drive billions and billions of dollars into Web3. There is no reason at this point to believe that Trump's already done more than what he said he was going to do. The only thing he hasn't done is turn around and say, I'm going to buy 1 million Bitcoin and I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I'm going to do it a week on Thursday. I'm going to buy all the Bitcoin, because that's not how it was ever going to work. They were going to buy Bitcoin every day, every week, every month for the term of his term as president. So I wouldn't worry. Like, as I said before about TradFi, it works slowly. We're in crypto and things are going to be here next week that didn't exist today. In TradFi, it takes time. Look at the ETFs. We want an XRP and a Solana ETF. That's another thing he said he would do. He said he would fire Gary Gensler on his first day in power. Guess what? Gary Gensler resigned the first day that Trump was in power, which we all knew. They've got a pro-crypto head of the SEC. They have Hester Peirce, who's going to be talking at the Bitcoin conferences. I don't know how much more he can do for crypto than he's currently doing. He's going after Chairman Powell as best he can to cut interest rates, stimulate the economy. That's what he's doing. Once interest rates come down, you can turn the money printer on. And when the money printer turns on, Bitcoin does that. But he can't do any more than he's doing. That's the problem. He's trying. He's done everything he said he was going to do. Everything he said he was going to do. Even the JFK files released. Got the JFK files now. We know what went on. He said he would do it and he did it. Everything he said he was going to do, what's that saying he's got? Promises made, promises kept. He's kept every promise he's made so far. Some things just take longer. And as I said on Tuesday, they're not going to telegraph. I don't think they're going to telegraph the first Bitcoin purchase. I think they're going to make a purchase of Bitcoin maybe in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And then they will announce it after the purchase. And then they're going to say, we've bought some Bitcoin. We've bought 5,000 Bitcoin. If you take the 5 billion that they've made from the golden visas and you bought Bitcoin with that, you'd get 60,000 Bitcoin today. So you work out they only need to sell 10,000 visas and they've bought all the Bitcoin. They've sold 1,000 in his first 2 weeks. Of course, it's going to move the price. That's the problem. So they can't come out and say, we're now going to do this, 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 and this, because they're going to telegraph it. They're going to buy it and they're going to tell us retrospectively that they've bought it. They're going to tell us, we've gone out and bought 5,000 Bitcoin, or we've seized 15,000 Bitcoin, or we've just sold 1,000 golden visas. We're now going to use half of that money to give Americans money, and we're going to put the other half into Bitcoin. They're going to do all of those things, but we're never going to know. And it's going to hit us from left field. Nobody's going to tell us until it happens, and then we're going to go to $95,000, $96,000. That's the way it's going to work. So to say that he's not going to do anything, I think is unfair, because he's done absolutely everything he said he would do. Everything he said he would do, he has done, including, by the way, inviting Binance to the table, which I didn't expect because of the issue with CZ. So even that happened. So I wouldn't be too worried about Trump. It's going to happen. We've got 3 years and 10 months left. He's done so much in those first 2 months that we can't really knock him for that. Or I can't knock him for that. And of course, I want him to go out and buy 10,000 Bitcoin a day for the next 6 months. Of course I do. So does everybody. But he's trying to do it so they can't use anything against him. They can't say, well, he saved all this money here and now he's gone and bought Bitcoin with your tax dollars. If he turns around and says, we've sold a load of junk for 10 billion and we've bought 5 billion of Bitcoin, then that's a win, because I've given you 5 billion back and I've spent 5 billion on Bitcoin. So it's a win for him. Anyway, we've gone past the time. We are all good. Everything is happy. Don't worry. Everything is going to work out for the best. I can't remember who said, don't worry, be happy. But don't worry, be happy. It's all good. Right, I will be back tomorrow. I think we're going to stream from the studio, which means I will be with the Oracle on Friday in the office. Can you believe that? And maybe, I'm not sure if KB wants to confirm. I don't know if KB and the Oracle are doing a stream on Friday or next Monday. I've heard rumours that there's going to be another KB stream. Maybe you can tell us in chat. But anyway, that's enough from me. I am off 87.5. Maybe we go back to up to 88 today. Maybe we go down to 86.5 today. I don't see anything changing unless there's some news coming out. So take care. Thank you, Tariq, for the question. Thank you, KB. Thank you, MD, Bullish Bull, Mags, Cyberpunk Danny, Kishan, everybody else. Have a great day. See you all tomorrow. Take care.